President Tinubu submits ministerial list to Senate for approval. Soldiers kill 2 bandits, recover guns in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. Governor Lawal honors pilgrim who returned lost $80,000 in Saudi Arabia. Niger Army pledges allegiance to coup makers. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. And now the details. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday submitted list of his minister nominees to Senate for approval. Chief of Staff and immediate past Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, personally delivered the names to 28 ministerial nominees to the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the list consisting of technocrats, former governors, lawmakers is submitted in line with requirement of Section 147, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Section 147, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended requires the President to forward a list of ministerial nominees to the Senate within 60 days of his inauguration. It is in line with this constitutional provision. The Senate, after a closed-door session, allowed former Speaker of the House of Representatives, now Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, to appear before it and submit the list.
Requests for confirmation of ministerial nominees. In compliance with the provisions of Section 147, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I am pleased to forward to the Senate for confirmation the underlisted 28 ministerial nominees.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio read the list, which include the names of immediate past governors of Kaduna, Jigawa, Rivers, Ebonyi states, and 24 others as minister nominees.
1. Abubakar Momo. 2. Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Chuka. 3. Architect Ahmad Dangiwa.
The Red Chamber also deliberated on other bills and motions, including that on the need to intervene in the ongoing resident doctor strike. The lawmakers call on the federal government to engage with the striking doctors with a view to stopping the industrial action, just as it called on the health personnel to suspend the strike on humanitarian ground. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, joining us for some more perspectives on this is Taiwo George, Daily Trust online editor, to talk about this. Thank you so much, Mr. George, for joining us on the news update.
Thank you.
All right. Well, after the long wait, we now have 28 nominees submitted to the Senate for confirmation. What do you make of this? I mean, given the fact that the president seemed to be running against time, his 3 months period that the Constitution provides for is about to elapse.
Well, I find it very strange that the list was submitted on the last day of the deadline of ultimatum, as the case might be. This is a man who promised to hit the ground running. And again, during the campaign, a spokesman said it won't take him 30 days a month to form his cabinet. But if not for the constitutional clause, perhaps it could have taken longer than ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. And, you know, it's not supposed to be the case.
As it is, do we expect more names? Or
of course, certainly, because the Constitution states that each state must have a minister. And so far we have 28 names, meaning that he even has the room to appoint per geopolitical zone. So the cabinet members, the ministers should be between 36 and 42, as the case might be.
So either way, there's likely going to be a violation of the law in this instance, because that expiration is already here.
Well, these are politicians. He might, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but they could argue for the fact that the list has been submitted. He has appointed ministers. Whether if today had gone without any list, it's a different ballgame. But surprisingly, we have the list.
All right. Well, 4 former governors on this list, and also we are talking about 6 women nominees. What does this say about the president's plan for issue of gender equity?
Well, it's quite encouraging. Encouraging in the context of what we experience in this country, where women are not given the opportunity to serve the country the way they should, the way it should be. So it's okay, it's quite encouraging, because the remaining ministers, if he decides to go by 42, he has quite a number, up to 14 or more than to go. Then we still have some women. We have 6. I doubt if President Muhammadu Buhari's government had up to 6 female. It can be more than that. So it was a big issue then. So for women, well, let's see, that's good. Talking about the former governors, same of same. You know, I'm not surprised. These are politicians, but are these people going to give us what we really want? Is this cabinet, I mean, the ministers, are they going to give Nigeria renewed hope as promised?
Or is it just going to be politics as usual? Well, we would, that remains to be seen, and we'll continue to follow up on that. Thank you so much, Taiwo George, Daily Trust Online editor, for joining us on the news update.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Yeah. All right, now APC National Vice Chairman Northwest Zone Salihu Lukman has resigned from the National Working Committee of the party. Lukman's resignation letter was submitted to the acting national chairman of the APC, Senator Abubakar Kari, on Wednesday, July 26, 2023. His resignation is coming 10 days after the resignation of former national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and the national secretary, Senator Yola Omisore. It was, however, gathered that from sources within the APC National Secretariat that Lukman was not comfortable with the move to appoint former governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, by President Bola Tinubu and governors of the platform of the party as replacement for Senator Abdullahi Adamu as national chairman of the APC. Lukman's letter of resignation, which was cited by Forefront News, indicated that he hinged his reasons on what he described as interference and illegal acts in the affairs of the local government area of Plateau State came under fire from suspected bandits and personally responded, forcing bandits to retreat. The statement said that the troops recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 15 rounds of 7.62 mm special, 3 locally fabricated guns, and a pair of military desert camouflage uniform. 10 suspects were captured and are currently undergoing profiling. In the same vein, troops also thwarted an attempted attack on Mangung and Patlong villages in Mangu local government area. Troops decisively responded and scores of bandits were neutralized while others escaped with gunshot wounds. Similarly, troops while on patrol along Janeret, Washina, Changal and Gyambwas, all in Mangu local government area, responded to firing from suspected bandits who fled on sighting own troops. Troops in the process recovered 3 motorcycles and 1 locally fabricated gun. The spokesman said that the Operation Safe Haven appeals to law-abiding citizens to sustain credible and timely information to assist in prompt responses to security situation as they emerge. Suspected armed bandits, terrorists have reportedly shot a resident and abducted 10 people in Talata Marafa local government area of Zamfara State. An eyewitness, Ibrahim Murtala, said that the incident occurred on Wednesday night when the suspected armed bandits invaded the town. Also, a resident of the troubled area, Ibrahim Murtala, the terrorist, said that the terrorists, who were armed bandits with sophisticated weapons, stormed the town and went straight to the residence of former member of the House of Representatives in 10 Assembly, who represented Talata Marafa and Anka federal constituencies, Kabiru Classic, but were unable to enter the house because residents of the area cited them trying to scale through the perimeter fence. Suspected bandits have killed 6 people, including a village head in Kada village, Ningi local government area of Bauchi State. The bandits also killed 1 volunteer security personnel and injured 1 army personnel in Gamji village in a gun duel with soldiers. An eyewitness and member of the vigilante group in the area says that the bandits invaded the area on motorcycles at about 9 p.m. Tuesday night, where they attacked and killed the innocent people in cold blood. According to reports, the gunmen suspected to be kidnappers terrorizing the area stormed the village with heavy gunfire that overwhelmed local security. The source explained that the attackers shot dead the village head of Kada along with 5 other people. Now, still on security matters, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency responded to allegations of its operatives causing the death of 2 individuals during a raid in Idioro area of Mushin local government of Mushin in Lagos. In an interview on Thursday, NDLEA's spokesperson Femi Babafemi said that the agency's operatives came under attack on Wednesday night when it raided Mushin to arrest a baron behind shipment of drugs from Ghana. He explained that the agency's operatives resorted to self-defense to escape the attack. Babafemi revealed that the suspected drug barons are Sahid Solola and Suleiman Shehu. He added that the agency arrested the suspects with drug shipments and vehicles. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal on Thursday honored the pilgrim who returned $80,000 to the owner during the last Hajj in Saudi Arabia. The pilgrim Hajia Aishatu Nahuche from Bunguru local government area of Zamfara State found the $80,000, an equivalent of 64,240,000 naira, and handed it over to the Zamfara State Pilgrims Welfare Agency official for onward return to the owner. A statement by the spokesperson to the governor, Suleiman Idris, said that the governor honored the pilgrim in the company of all emirs of the state at the council chambers, the government house. The governor further expressed the state government's happiness over the sincerity of the pilgrim. The statement also said that the state has seen a clear example of honesty worth emulating, adding that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will also honor Hajia Aisha for this act of honesty. Earlier, the Emir of Bunguru, Al-Haji Hassan Al-Tahiru, while introducing Hajia Aisha, stressed that her action has generated more respect for the entire people of Zamfara State. 5 students in Bauchi State have died of suspected outbreak of diphtheria in Jama'ari local government area of the state. The executive chairman of the Bauchi State Primary Health Care Agency, Dr. Rilwanu Muhammad, disclosed this to journalists during an emergency press briefing in Bauchi. Muhammad said that all schools in the affected local government area had been closed as a precautionary measure. He said that out of 28 samples taken, 2 were confirmed, saying that the agency was determined to act fast to curtail a possible spread of the outbreak. He said vaccination will be given to prevent the disease. Mohammed described the deaths of the students as unfortunate, saying laboratory tests will confirm if they died of diphtheria. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at deplorable condition of road as it worries motorists. Details and more after the break.
we could see that.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at the top stories again. President Tinubu submits ministerial list to Senate for approval. Soldiers kill 2 bandits, recover guns in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. Now, in other news, the leadership of the Southwest Zone D of the National Association of Nigerian Students has issued a 7-day ultimatum to the federal government to reverse the proposed hike in tuition fees of tertiary institutions or risk a total blockade of all federal roads across the region. Coordinator of the union also, Alao John, gave this warning in Ibadan during a chat with journalists where he described such purported moves by government as not well thought out. The students' body, while questioning the rationale behind the decision, called for increased funding for the university system if Nigerian youths were to achieve their full potentials.
This news came to us as a rude shock, considering the current state of the Nigerian economy that is driving standard of living to all-time high in the face of astronomical hike in PMS price, fall of the naira, and subsequent increase in prices of commodities. It has clearly questioned our faith in the ruling elite to truly make things right in this country. In the light of the above, gentlemen of the press and Nigerian students, the leadership of Non-Southwest Zone D hereby makes our position as follows. Number 1, all plans to increase fees should be halted immediately, and those who have done so should revert to the status quo. Also, we demand that minimum wage should be increased by over 200% moving forward. We also posit that education should take 26% of the budget as recommended by UNESCO.
Motorists and other road users are worried over the deplorable condition of Kaduna Western Bypass. The road had in recent time recorded frequent accidents that claimed many lives. The residents blame potholes on the road and drivers' attitudes as some of the factors responsible for the frequent accident on the road. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more.
Kaduna Western Bypass, also known as Nnamdi Azikiwe Express Road, is a link road between north and other parts of the country. The road is always busy with interstate commuters plying the road. However, the road is in deplorable condition now due to bad conditions of the road with many potholes. The road condition is worsening every day as motorists spend more time before they reach their destinations. The condition of the road affects our vehicles. Our tires are worn out easily due to potholes. The potholes not only delay vehicular movement on the road, but claim lives due to accidents on the road.
Na farko ina shago a zaune. Tifa kawai ya silalo ba burki ya kashe mutum daya nan 21 kilo.
I was in my shop here. A truck pulled down my shop and killed one person, and another truck fell on a car, but nobody was killed. Then next, reckless drivers avoiding the potholes killed an elderly man, and another truck also killed 6 people in a car along Kurmimashi. Commuters are appealing to government to hasten the reconstruction of the road. The road is bad, therefore we are appealing to government to hasten the construction of the road to avert losing lives on the road. We are calling on government, instead of commencing the construction along Command Junction, to please mobilize the contractor to this portion of the road due to its deplorable nature here.
Earlier,
the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Works, Mahmoud Mamman, while expecting pace of work, had assured of speedy completion of the project.
It is in the same vein that we also, go and look at the Kaduna Western Bypass that is being done by the Antata and Sawo. And we saw the situation how it is. And in fact, me and my team, we have already sat down, we talked, we strategized, and believe me, by the time we get to the office, we are going to adopt a different strategy, and God's willing, the project is also going to start at a very fast rate, now that we have seen, and with the strategy that we are going to do.
If completed, the Western Bypass will ease movement of people and goods as the road links Kaduna State to key northern states and other parts of the country. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
On the foreign scene, Niger's army has declared allegiance to the defense and security forces that overthrew President Mohamed Bazoum, according to a statement signed by Abdul Sadiko Issa, the Army Chief of Staff. Thursday's statement. Thursday's statement posted on social media said that the decision was necessary to avoid a deadly confrontation between the various forces. Members of the Presidential Guard had detained Bazoum inside his palace in the capital, Niamey, early on Wednesday. In a broadcast later on national television, Colonel Major Amadou Abdurrahman, spokesperson for a group calling itself the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Country, said that the defense and security forces have decided to put an end to the regime you are familiar with, quote and unquote. The soldier said that the country's borders have been closed and a nationwide curfew was in place. All institutions of the country were also suspended, Abdurrahman added. He was seated and flanked by 9 other officers wearing fatigues, as he read out in his statement. On Thursday, the colonel announced on national TV that all activities by political parties in Niger have been suspended until further notice after the army declared its allegiance to the group. Meanwhile, the ECOWAS Community Citizens calls on the regional organization to address recurring military takeovers in the sub-region and restore democratic government in Niger Republic as part of rebuilding a strong and resilient ECOWAS. Musa Luka reports.
Following the announcement of ouster of democratically elected government of Mohamed Bazoum Niger by Presidential Guard and consequent endorsement of the coup by the country's army, members of ECOWAS Community Citizens condemned the incident, noting that it is sad commentary for political developments in the West African region.
The military regime, there was corrupted regime, worse than the civilian regime. I think that where we have in this phase is to rethink our democratic system.
I am honored to be here to join my colleagues in the fight against 3-term mandate in West Africa, and I am hereby condemning the coup that happened in Niger last night.
The president of Nantes, Ken Okwaha, said the West African sub-region is currently undergoing a real decline, therefore calling on West African leaders to make the core Vision 2050 a reality.
We wish to sadly note After the wave of democratization of the 1990s that raised a lot of hope, West African region is currently undergoing a real decline. And it is also increasingly confronted with an erosion of individual and collective freedoms in a context of growing instability in relation to recurrent socio-political crises and violent extremism. We therefore make a solemn appeal to the entire West African community to make the core vision of 2050 a reality and to have a fully integrated community of people in a peaceful, prosperous region with strong institutions that respect fundamental freedoms and the rights of every citizen.
Director for Center for Democratic Development CDD, Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, appreciated ECOWAS President Bola Tinubu for actively condemning the military takeover in Niger.
We believe strongly that citizens of West Africa and our governments need to mount the barricades again to make a clear statement that never again will we as a people accept recurrent coup d'etat. Having had our discussions this morning, we want to say we are happy that the chairman of ECOWAS, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yesterday came out very strongly against the coup d'etat, and that ECOWAS moved swiftly in appointing President Patrice Talon, the president of Benin, as the West African mediator.
The ECOWAS community citizens said ECOWAS must carry out reforms, including reforms of its additional protocol on democracy and good governance, where term limits must be a cornerstone. Musa Luka, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In sports news, Azizat Oshoala made history as the first Super Falcons player to score in 3 consecutive World Cups after netting in the side's 3-2 victory against the Republic of Ireland on Thursday. The Barcelona Femení forward was introduced in the 64th minute after passing a late fitness test. Oshoala profited from a sloppy defending from the co-host to score the Super Falcons' 3rd goal in the thrilling encounter. Uchenna Kanu and Osinachi Ohale were the other scorers for the Super Falcons in the game. Oshoala scored her first World Cup goal for the Super Falcons in the 3-3 draw against Sweden at the 2015 edition hosted by Canada. The 28-year-old was also on target 4 years ago in the 2-0 draw against South Korea. And that's it for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.